bowl that extend the line out 5 times its length to arrive at Polaris. Where am I? It's hard to miss since it's the brightest star in the Earth Minor, or the Little Dipper. Seek the South Pole. Traveling below the equator, find the Southern Cross's long axis and extend, so find the bottom part, the longer part of the cross that's in the sky. Okay, and then follow it down 4.5 times the axis length. Then locate the bright stars Regal Kent and Hadar to the left of the Southern Cross. So go that way a little bit, just a little bit, that way. So if you're on that side of the cross, you're looking at the cross. On that side a little bit, find some stars that way that are really big, and then take those two and go down. And then that's the South Pole. Okay, so figure the midpoint between these two stars and imagine a perpendicular line from that point to the end of the line drawn from the Southern Cross, and that intersection marks the South Pole. So the cross go, it's down there somewhere. Okay, and if you're up north, you have the Little Dipper, so you have the Big Dipper down here. When you look up at the sky, it's over here. And then travel a little bit up and to the left. And the Little Dipper, it looks like another little square in the sky, and it's right there, and it has a handle that sticks out that way. Hopefully this looks right when you look at it back. So find the handle, and at the very end of the handle, way up there, is Polaris. And Polaris doesn't move, it just stays there. So no matter where you are circling around it, it should always be the north. Okay, let's go to another book. Extreme survival! They're all pretty extreme. Ultimate. Now we're extreme. What to do when disaster strikes in the outdoors, in the city, and in the home, wilderness, terrorism, how to survive land, water, in the air, and in any climate and in harsh terrain. Practical advice, street skills, and expert self-defense techniques shown step by step. Air, sea, land. Akkermans, Cook, Mattos, and Morrison. A lot of people involved in this writing process. They must have each had an element. Okay, let's open to a page that'll help everyone the most. Making cordage. That's still kind of feminine. But that's good. We're balancing the masculine and the feminine. Let's do it. I don't have a demonstration thing. I feel like I should demonstrate with this. Let's show you. So if you're stuck out in the woods, I should move this light. I can see it a little bit better for a minute. If you're stuck out in the woods and you need to make some string, you can make it from some like wood and stuff. Let's see how we do that. Okay, you will need cordage or thread, varying strengths and thicknesses, for many purposes in the survival situation, from lashing together the timbers of your shelter to fishing and making snares. It can be made from both plant and animal fibers. The fibers of animal matter, such as sinew, the leg tendons, are usually stronger, but plant fibers may be easier to find than leg tendons and can withstand getting wet, while animal fibers stretch when wet. So your choice of materials will be governed by the jobs you need the cordage to do. Okay, plant fibers. So if we need to make some string from plants, the inner part of the plant stem is generally used for making cordage. The stringing nettle is a good plant to choose, but other species with long, tough stems can be used. Find young green stems. Green because they're stronger and they're stringy and they won't break and snap. And carefully remove the leaves without damaging the fibers and without getting stung. Oh my, what are they asking you to use? Oh, you know what it looks like? It looks like big ass, like, it looks like it's from like a blackberry bush, like that stem. So it is a little bit more like a little bit more fibrous and like tree bark like for a plant than normally, so it does string kind of nicely. But what if you don't have those? Let's just continue. Okay, so it has prickers. Use gloves or a piece of leather to rub the hairs off the stalk and then split it open from one side only and spread it out. Discard the woolly pith from the inside and carefully scrape the outer part of the fibers. These parts of the stem add no strength and even make the finished product weaker. You don't want a weak link in the chain. Gently roll the fibers between your hands for a while, making them supple. For cordage that needs to have a lot of strength, sinew the raw hide will do the trick. The advantage of such animal matter is that it shrinks when it's dried, enable it to form a very tight binding. The downside is that it loosens again when it gets wet. So you can use sinew, that's the tendon. I think that's what my dog likes to chew on, like the curly things. They're the tendons, and they make her breath smell like a dirty pussy. They make her breath smell so bad, and she loves those things. Alright, you use sinew as it comes from animal, but ripping off fibers as you need them. This works well when making arrows. You don't even need to tie any knots. When the sinew, oh, that's true. When the sinew with with saliva, maybe I'll give it to my dog to suck on with her saliva and then wrap the arrowheads that I need to make. Just use a slingshot and some pebbles. Oh, gross. What do you think you're going to suck on the animal tendon? That's so gross. But that is true. Saliva is different. That's why people are usually allergic to cats. It's not usually that they're allergic to the cat's fur. It's usually the licking of their fur. The cat. And then the saliva dries weird on their skin and goes in like flakes. And that's what people are allergic to usually. If you want to make long cord out of sinew, you need to prepare it by first separating fibers. You can only do this by pounding the tendons on a wooden... Well, that could get out some relief. You need to pound the tendons down with a wooden anvil, because everyone has a wooden hammer available. I guess it doesn't have to be a real hammer. You could just get a piece of wood if you're in survival mode. If you use a stone or metal hammer, you will break the fibers. So you may find that it takes a lot of hammering to loosen the fibers. So just get into a rhythm. Just get into it. Get into the hammering. All right. And what do they do? Let me look quick, see if I can explain it. All right. So they take the thing and you like take a knife and take the end green part off. So you have the strands in the inside, right? And you have the fibers. And now pretend you're like Rumpelstiltskin and you have an old school like spinning wheel. First you're going to take it, you know when you take string and you look at it really close and it separates and there's a couple of string in there and they're kind of twisted together. So it's that. You're just making that. So work it out a little bit and then start to twist it like this. Twist it, twist it, twist it, and get it tight and twisted. And then, oh yeah, they do it like if you know how to do hair. If you're a hairdresser, you're good on your survival skills with making some string. So not a braid, not like this and this and this and this. But if you ever saw someone, oh, I don't even have hair to show you. If you ever saw someone do a rope, so you take one piece of hair and another piece of hair. I have the tiniest hair ever. And, right? So you have 3 sections and you twist. So you're twisting this one this way, right? And you bring it all the way over. And then if I had hair, you bring this one underneath all the way to the end and you're going the same direction. So when these go next to each other, they're not going into each other. They're twisting away from each other. Okay? Wait, hold on. I can do this, hair or not. Take the third one. You twist that the same way. Did I do it the right direction? Oh, maybe it's the other way. Hold on. Try one more time. Hold on. I haven't done the long hair thing in a while. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try twist this way. So let me go under. I think it's that way. It's that way. Okay, so that way, and then, is it? Yes. And then under, right? So twist, twist, and then bring it over the other one. Okay, so you see how they don't look like they're going into each other if I had hair? Right, and then the third one, bring that to the end, and then twist it under, right? Under, 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 and then move it on top of the other one. All right, so it eventually, I should get my sister to demonstrate. It eventually will look like this, if you can see it. Like a chain. Like that. So, I'm sorry I couldn't do a better demonstration. I didn't expect to open up to the page. Okay, so we're at 20 minutes. Let's just do one more. Why not? The bow drill. These are harder than I thought I should. Let's do something I can explain. Coping with dangerous road situations. Okay, let's just pick something here. Getting out of a submerged car. Act immediately if your car ends up in water. Get out of the car by any means possible. Do not stay in a drowning car. That's not smart. Turn the lights on and try. All right, so if the first thing you can do, if you think of it, at least turn the lights on. So if you're stuck in that shit, somewhere up on top, they're going to see some weird lights going down into the water, and maybe somebody can get to you on time. Because they might not hear you sound as weird in water. Lights. It's all about the lights. They could save your life. Okay, 2. Wind down the side window in order to escape. Now, this is if you have a nice car that has a windy thing. Most people opt for the lazy option these days and don't have that. If you have electric windows, they may not well be functioning, but stay calm. 3. If you cannot open a side window by conventional means, try to smash that shit out. Use a strong pointed object, like the fire extinguisher you should be keeping underneath your seat. Or a hacksaw, as most people should have under their seat. Okay, if you can't smash the window, kick it as hard as you fucking can, starting at the corners. That's the weakest spot. Corners. Kick the shit out of the corner. If you can't kick the shit out of the window, you have problems. Kick it. Kick the shit out of it. This is your chance to shine, man. You could also try to kick out the windshield. This is true. When I started to drive the car when I was 16, I was explained how I was ever stuck in a car that you need to kick the windshield out. It goes out. That's how it's made. You take your legs and you put your feet up in the windshield. You kick the fucking shit out of it and you get out of there. And maybe keep the hacksaw underneath your seat in case your legs are ever trapped in a steering wheel. Then you can saw your way out. Not your legs, the steering wheel. That's also what I was told when I was 16. It's good to have a dad that loves you. He thinks about it, even if it's not so girly all the time. I know he cares, and I'm grateful for it later. Okay. If all else fails, try to open a door. This will only be possible when the car is nearly full of water, with the inside and the outside pressure almost equal. So that sucks. That's like last resort, man. That's like movie territory. You're going my world with that crazy stuff. So if you're in a car and you can't get maybe you're trapped. Maybe your feet are trapped in the steering wheel and you don't have a hacksaw underneath. So what are you going to do? You can't, or maybe you're like tangled in your seatbelt. You can't get out. That sucks. So what are you going to do? Well, hopefully, your door is unlocked. Or go, at least that works. Lock. Lock that, unlock that shit. And wait till it's almost up to Titanic level. And pressure will be a little bit